Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing trial runs. So now that the track work is completely finished, there's no more adjustments I'm going to be making to it. It's all wired up with its feeds, it's ballasted, everything's done. We are going to actually run some engines through it. Now I know you saw me run the Greenbrier through it, but we want to run some of the biggest engines that we have with the biggest rolling stock, biggest, longest passenger cars. And we're going to run all these sets through. We just want to run all the big stuff to make sure that it's not going to have a problem on any of the new track changes before we start putting down the amusement park and all the scenery and everything else. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And then we're going to be finding out if there are any engines that can't make that 60 curve. Because remember, on my layout, everything is 72 except for that one curve that goes up the grade and through the bridges, right? That one is 60. It's a little bigger than 60 because it's like 60 with some straights in between each 60 curve, but it's basically 60, and we want to see if everything's going to run up there or not, because that's going to be you know, something I'm going to want to know before I put engines on the track and then have them derail when they're going up the grade, right? Don't want to do it. So I'm going to run my stuff through to find out what's, you know, going to work, what isn't going to work. And that's what we're going to be doing today, our trial run. So let's jump into it. So we got all the track down, so that's it. No more track changes, we're done. We got all mounted down and finished and ballast. There's a couple small sections of ballast. I must have missed the glue because the ballast came off, but I'll fix those little things. But other than that, track work is finished, and I also replaced a switch right back here. This one was sticking, so since I had extra switches, I replaced that one. And I also took out way in the back there a uncoupling track, you know, with the magnet on it that had melted. So I don't use those anyway, so I took that out and replaced that and got everything ballasted. So track work is finished. We're done. No more changes to the track work. So what we're going to do is do some trial runs now. And we're going to do trial runs not just with engines. We're going to do it pulling actual consists, like passenger sets and freight, because that's where, if things are going to derail and pull off the track, it's going to be when it's pulling the cars and everything. So we're going to start here with one of my favorite sets. This is the Empire State Express set with the 21-inch passenger cars. So these are the longest passenger cars that I have, and they're very tightly coupled, as you can see. So, you know, going through all these turns and curves and these switches is going to really tell the tale here if these are going to derail or pull off. So I just put 3 of them on here, but that's enough to test it out. So let's give it a run around the layout. So far, so good. comes around, it's going to go up the grade now on the inner side here. So there's a bunch of curves here, one right after the other, so far so good. Alright, so the Empire State Express with the 21-inch cars, which are super tightly coupled, had no problems going all the different directions, all the different ways, so that's a great sign. So, but that's only a that engine, of course, is only a 6 main drivers setup. So now we're going to put something a little bit bigger. So I'm going to get the Union Pacific veranda in here and put that on here, and let's see if we have any issues with that one. Next up is going to be our veranda. through perfectly also. That's a big diesel too. Very long, dual trucks on the front, on the engine itself. And then I ran some really long, the longest rolling stock pieces, some of the biggest ones I have, just to see. And everything was fine. Even on the grade going up here, which, you know, is not quite 72. It's sort of like 60s with some straights in between each one. So, not quite as tight as 60, but very close, right? So, ran up and down that grade fine too, which is really good. So next we're going to expand our main driver set from 6 to 8. So we're going to run our Frisco Meteor steam engine on and run that around and see what happens with that one. Although I think it's going to be okay because I ran the New York Central one, I think it was with the 8 drivers, and it was okay. So, but we're going to run it through anyway. And then we're gonna lash up 2 diesels and run them together. All right, so Frisco, now this is a main driver 8 wheels and ran through perfectly, again with the long rolling stock, so no issue there. Now we're going to switch it down to the opposite direction. We're going to put the Strasbourg 89 on here, that small engine that I was having trouble with through switches with some derailing and stuff, and we're going to put that on with its passenger cars and run that through all these different directions and see if we have any problems with that one. perfect. So the 89 flawlessly ran through every single switch, both directions, up and down the grades. Everything's perfect with the cars. If you guys haven't seen these are the newest Lionel early cars, right? They're the green and the yellow ones from the late 60s, 70s paint scheme. So I got those to match my early version Strasbourg 89. So, and I'll use those if and when I get the 90. I'm still up in the air about getting that engine, but if I just decide to get it, then I'll use these same cars with it, because I'm going to get the early version also paint scheme. So, but anyway, that's the Strasbourg, and that runs, the small one also runs through all the switches flawlessly. I don't know if you can notice it, but that Y switch in the back there in combination with the other ones has actually given me a lot of different options, and I can turn the trains all kinds of different directions. So it's kind of cool that actually a reduced track plan, if you think about it, right? Because I've reduced the switches over half. I have half the amount of switches I had before now, and it actually gives me even more options to turn the trains around all different directions and go different routes and stuff like that. So pretty cool. Alright, next up is some ST70 diesels lashed together with, again, some long rolling stock pieces. So we'll try this. All right, no problems with lashed up diesels, so that's a good sign too, because some of the diesels like the SD70s and the ES44s, they have very limited range on their couplers here, so the fact that it went up that inner grade that goes through the bridges, again, really good sign. So zero issues running through all the switches and everything else. So far everything's 100% perfect. All right, next up is the Burlington Zephyr. We're picking this one because it's a very, it has the single trucks that span across the two cars, very tight distance between the passenger cars. So we want to see how this goes through all these curves and if it has any issues also. So another good one for testing. So we found one engine that cannot go up this 60 curve grade on the inner loop here, and that is the Burlington Zephyr. Between the front truck here, which is derailed, and this truck right here, there's not enough room. Like the sides are, touching each other here. It can't articulate enough around this curve on 60. So this one is relegated to the 72s only, which means it has to stay on the lower level here. It can't go up the grade. It can go up the main grade in the back there and around, but it has to come back down around the outer grade. It can't go on the inner grade through the bridges. So far this is the only engine that has this issue, and it's really because, first of all, this is all die cast. It's not going to flex at all, but it's because right here the truck, it can't pivot enough. It doesn't have enough room right on this side over here, so it will come off the track. So not a big deal, but that's good to know that this one has to stay relegated to the lower curves. It's got to be on 72s for this particular set, which makes sense if you look at it, so that's fine. All right, so we have basically really, out of my whole collection, I've got everything covered for all the engines except for, we're going to try two more. We want to try the triplex, that's a key one, and then also the Amtrak Acela set, which also can be finicky with its couplers going around curves. So we're going to try both those, but those are the last two. Otherwise, every single thing I have in my collection runs perfectly on the new track plan and can go on both the inner grade here that goes through the bridges and the outer one and turn around and all those types of things. So far only one on the list right here, the Zephyr, can't go up this inner grade. Guys, I can't believe it, but the triplex made it through the entire layout, all different directions without an issue. Even on that curve over here, that's only 60 right here. So that's amazing. And one of the other things is the overhang. I wasn't even sure, because when I rented it around before, right, it was specific directions, and you know, the overhang, the scenery is really what I'm worried about, because some of the overhang, when it's going around some of these curves, it gets so close to the scenery. You're probably talking about 1/8 an inch difference between it and taking out the scenery. So so that's cool, because we ran it around all the different routes and directions, and it didn't hit any sceneries, even though some of it came super close, but we're all clear. So the triplex, one of my favorite engines, runs perfectly on this new track plan also. So that is awesome. And that's pretty much it, except for one more engine that we want to try, and that is the Acela set. Because, again, the couplers on the particular set are unique and don't have as much not quite as much travel. So I just want to see if there's going to be any issues on that turnaround when I'm going up that 60 curve. So for the Acela, that is not going to make it. It just can't make the curve, the 60s. It's got to be at least the 72 because it's just too tight between the engine and these passenger cars because of these special couplers that they have in between here. So the Acela is the other engine that will have to be relegated to only running on the lower loops, and it can't go on the upper one there. But that's it. Only 2 engines out of the whole collection, so that's perfect. And I don't really have any engines above 8 drivers, so I don't have any 10 driver main drivers engines or anything like that, so I don't have to worry about that. Triplex works perfectly, so probably because it's articulated, so it can handle the tighter curves and still without a problem, you know, go up and down and everything. So that's great. And every other engine is at least smaller than that. Pacifics and diesel engines and things like that. So yeah, so I'm good. So my track plan has tested out perfectly, and I'm perfectly happy with it. And 98% of my engines I can run perfectly and turn them around and everything. 2 of them I'll just have to relegate to the lower level, and that'll be it. Alright guys, so that's it. We got our trial runs done. We're done with our track, so I'm satisfied with everything. At this point, we pretty much can run all our collection through the track plan, including that 60 curve, except for 2 pieces, right? The Burlington Zephyr can't make it because that connection between the cars is just too tight with those vestibules, and that it's sort of a one big articulated piece, right? Can't make it through, it's just too tight, and it pulls it off the track. So that one we have to relegate to the lower level. And then the other one is the Amtrak Acela. Again, it has those special couplers on it, and those special couplers and the tightness of the cars to the engine just don't allow it to make that curve. So that one also pulls off the track when you try to go up that grade in through the bridges. So 2 of them have to stay on the bottom level. That's okay. That's fine, because that's nothing compared to all the rest of the collection. But some of the bigger engines, like the triplex, the veranda, and all those, ran through everything perfectly, even on the 60 curves. So that's awesome. So no more issues with all these places that used to derail with these little S curves and everything. And even that S curve, that tiny little one that's right after the Y that I just put in, I think because it's an 84, everything ran through it perfectly and flawlessly. So we're good. So now we are actually ready for an amusement park. So our next video, we're going to start laying out our plan. We're going to get everything unboxed, and then we're going to start laying all the rides out and just getting an idea of the layout of the park itself, and sort of start coming up with that kind of planning. I really only have a couple ideas in my head right now, so I don't even know what it's going to look like, but we got to get everything out of the boxes first and get them on the layout so that we can actually see how much room we have and where everything can be placed and things like that. So that'll be a lot of fun. It's always fun taking something brand new out of the box, putting it on the layout, and then finding out where you're going to put it. So that's our next video. Finally, yes, I promise it will be the next video. So I know I keep saying that, and then I'm always jamming something else in between there, but it will be the next video. You will see amusement park rides laying on the layout at least. So alright, so that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, put your comments down below about this video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace, guys.